Today on Trico Studios, we take a look at the Fender 1976 Super Reverb Silverface Head. So looking at the front panel of this Fender amplifier, we have on our normal channel our first and second guitar inputs. Now the two differences that you have with these is if you have something that has very high output pickups or secondary instrument, that's when you're going to go into the second input of this channel. Now moving on to the bright switch, it's a lot easier for you guys to hear this instead of really explaining what the switch does, but all it does is bring out some of that bright top end. So here we're going to turn off the bright switch. Let's hear what that sounds like with the bright switch off. Now with the bright switch on. So as you can hear, really nice bright top end, brings some of that muddiness out of the sound and brings some of that beautiful sparkle to the top end. Now moving on, we have our volume knob, treble, middle, and bass knobs. So right off the bat, let's hear a stereo sand sample of what the normal channel sounds like. So now looking at the vibrato channel of this amplifier, we have our first and second inputs as well as our bright switch like we've seen in our normal channel of this amplifier, our volume, treble, middle, and bass knobs, and that is where the similarities end there. I'm going to break this channel down into three sections, starting now with the reverb. So this one reverb knob here we have set to the absolute minimum, and then I'm gradually going to turn it up so you guys can hear how nice this reverb is. Both channels sound just alike except for the effects part of this amplifier is only in the second channel. So here we go, no reverb. Reverb on. Reverb now at 3.5. Reverb at 6. Reverb at 8. And reverb turned all the way up to 10. So as you can hear, you can go from a very subtle reverb to a pretty crazy reverb. Beautiful sound. Now let's get into a stereo sound sample of the reverb on this channel. So moving on now, we have our speed and intensity knobs for our vibrato effect. Now speed is going to obviously adjust how fast you want the vibrato to go, and intensity is how much you want to bring in the effect, almost like a wet-dry mix, how much of it you want swallowing your sound or how laid back you want to do it. So here's the normal sound without the vibrato on. And with the vibrato on, with everything turned all the way down. Okay, let's turn that up a bit. So now with the intensity to 3. Starting to come in a little bit more. Let's bring it up to about 5. Here we go. Okay, a little bit more. Oh, we'll bring that up to about 7. Now you're starting to notice it's really swallowing like the wetness of the effect. And all the way up to 10. Now let's turn that back to a suitable sound here. I like that. It's right in the kind of in the middle at about 5. Now let's adjust the speed to show you guys how much this transforms and how fast you can make it and how slow. So this is the slowest setting here with on 0. Now about 3. about 5. About 8. And all the way up. So as you can see, you can actually go from a very mild sound to pretty fast, wild sound if you were to turn everything up. So let's do that right now. Intensity all the way up, speed all the way up. So pretty wild. Now let's get into a stereo sound sample of this vibrato effect. So last but not least, we're going to look at the master volume knob. Now the master volume knob is what you would typically move after you've already set your channel volumes, and then you would change the overall master volume to bring it up to where you want or bring it down to what you overall want in your sound. Now with some of these old amplifiers, as I found out, a lot of people don't know about them, is back in the day some of them had push and pull knobs, just like this one does. So what that does is if I take my volume in the channel and bring it all the way up to 10 and then pull the master volume knob, I now have distortion. You can kind of bring back some of that crunch sound a little bit by just using the volume knob on the channel. And if that starts to get too low in volume, just crank up the master volume just a little bit more. So now let's hear a stereo sound sample of the distortion in this channel. So now let's take a look at the back panel of this amplifier. Right off the bat, we have an AC power cord, AC accessory outlet, which is good up to 200 watts max, 3-position ground switch, our fuse, our power switch, our standby switch, speaker and external speaker jack, our output line recording jack, which permits direct connection to recorders, PAs, amplifiers with input impedance of 200 ohms or more. Next, we have our output tube matching adjustment, our vibrato and reverb pedal connection, our reverb output, reverb input, hum balance, which is to be used with the ground switch to further reduce hum. So quickly looking at the foot switch that is optional with this amplifier. This is the RCA jack vintage style 2-button foot switch, which allows you to select your reverb and your vibrato on and off. So this concludes my review of the Fender 1976 Super Reverb Silver Face Head. This is a 70-watt powerhouse head with a beautiful reverb, distortion, and vibrato. The reverb on this can go from a very mild to a very wild, so no matter what type of reverb sound you're looking for, you're definitely going to be able to dial to taste with this amplifier. Looking at the vibrato channel of this amplifier, I never thought I would ever need an amplifier or a vibrato effect for that matter, but this amplifier really turned me on to the vibrato effect. Love it. Surprised that I haven't played other amplifiers with this effect in it before, but very nice touch and definitely worth giving it a rip. And on top of that, the distortion channel on this amplifier is beautiful. Anybody that wants to play anything from hard air, classic rock tone, right down to cleans, you're going to be able to do it with this amp, and it's going to sound beautiful. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. We have many videos ahead for us. Also, we have a huge back catalog of over 500, 600 videos of everything from pedals, amplifiers, amplifier shootouts, pedal shootouts, guitars, studio equipment, microphones, anything, you name it. We'll try to get it done for you. Please hit that subscribe button again. We really need your guys' help to really move this channel and get it up there with some of the other guys that are on YouTube. Thank you very much for checking us out, and I hope I've been able to distinguish if this is the amplifier that's right for you. Till next time, I'm Kevin of Tri-Crow Studios. Take care.